See this one a lot. People think that corporations are buying up houses. And it does happen, not nearly to the scale that people think it does. I think the last time it's definitely less than 5%. We'll have to look up the actual statistic. 3% of homes. What people don't understand, and what I find most often, is they miss out on the simple concept of supply and demand. You've probably heard of it before. Think of the pandemic. You couldn't buy toilet paper. Why? I don't know. But prices go up when supply is limited. And the unfortunate consequence of 2008, other than people seeming to think that a home price crash is coming again, that it's inevitable. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. If anybody can tell you they know what's coming, they're lying to you. But the unfortunate consequence is that it pushed out home builders. And if we look at supply and demand purely on demographics alone, the 06, 07, 08 were the last time that there were an equal number of houses available. It was approximately 4 million for the amount of home buyers that were shopping. It was even, 4 million to 4 million. That has shifted significantly. And those home builders are the ones that went out of business. They got hit the hardest. Maybe some of them needed to go out of business, but we now have, if you look back, 15, 16 years of a housing market that has been severely underbuilt. And it's hard for people to really wrap their heads around it because everywhere you look, it feels like they're building homes. And yes, they're building expensive homes, but that's a different conversation around cost of materials and just the cost to put a home in. But if you factor in 15 years of an underbuilt housing market and large sections of demographics, you think anybody 25 to 45 years old all vying for the same limited housing population, it really puts the housing market in a position where supply and demand is just off. And that is what supports home prices, right? And sure, home price growth has slowed as rates have been higher, and that's frustrating for everybody. But that's the reality of how upside down the market is that, and not upside down in terms of where home prices are. That's upside down in terms of the availability of homes. And that is, hey, home prices have continued to be sustained in their pricing because there's just that much of a shortage. So while it feels like the average person can't afford a home, and that's maybe true if you look at the numbers, the opportunity still exists. And my encouragement and my recommendation to anybody who feels like they're in a position where they want to explore buying a home is that you do it, because it's not going to get any better. And that's the moral of this story, is that there's no silver bullet, there's no perfect pill solution to this housing market, and we are at best 10 years away from any solution that involves supply. And take out some catastrophic event where all of a sudden people can't afford homes or population growth decreases, we don't have enough homes, and home prices will continue to be where they're at. It doesn't mean it's a bad idea to buy a home. It means that you should explore it thoroughly. It means that you should have a really clear picture of your finances and also understand the risk that you're willing to take, because there's no perfect opportunity that says you're going to buy a home and it's going to go up in price forever. But if we look at the numbers, historically, owning a home sets your net worth in a completely different position. The last Federal Reserve study, it was the difference of $250,000 in net worth between a renter and a homeowner. And that was old debt. I think the latest data was closer to $400,000. So owning a home, if it's the right choice for you, can drastically put you and your family's trajectory on a completely different path. Worth exploring, worth getting all the information, but you can't fall victim to this idea that something's broken, so something has to break for it to fix. We don't quite have enough homes. It's expensive, but a home is an asset that, for the most part, can and should appreciate for you in the long run. And do your due diligence. Explore what it would mean for you to invest and rent. If you love where you're at, if you've got consistency in your job and you've got a good handle on your finances, owning a home is probably a really, really good choice for you. But don't rush into any decision. Get all the information you can, and don't fall victim to this mindset that something's broken, so home prices have to come down to fix it. Anything's possible, but in the meantime, make a really smart decision. Owning a home can be part of that.